Disclaimer, this video is not made for anyone under the age of 13, so if you are watching this video under the age of 13, please click off now. Thank you.
People, I think we all know that I'm a mental health enthusiast by now, and I think we all definitely know that I work incredibly hard behind the scenes, and if you're new to this channel, then there you go, there's the information for you. And sometimes there is a lot of projects and a lot of things that I work on that I don't necessarily inform you guys of or tell you about. And today is one of them days where I need to announce to you and show you something that I've been working on that previously you probably wasn't aware of. Now, I did make an announcement video saying that something along the lines of this was going to be happening around this time, but I think I gave you a few dates that were a bit rough and an estimate, and they kind of changed as time went on. So now I'm actually here sitting in front of you about to show you what I announced in that video. If you haven't seen that video, I will leave a card up here for you to go and check that out. To be fair, there isn't much point because it is literally just me telling you about what I'm about to show you. So, you know your typical mental health books, you know, them typical books that you pick up, they're like massive, they're like thick as anything, and they take you like a week to read, and by the end of it you forgot half of the information because it was so long, or you only pick up here and little bits, and sometimes you don't even know if these books are telling you actual information because half of the books are not even from people who have actual experience in mental health. They're just from studies that have been kind of passed around by scientists. They're not from people who have actually experienced mental health issues, and they're not very helpful. Disclaimer, there are books out there that are from people who have actually suffered from mental health issues. I'm not saying there's not, there are plenty out there, but I'm just saying your typical scientific mental health books, they're from scientists. Like, most of these scientists have got no clue like how it is to actually have mental health. They're just going off of their scientific studies. So, over the last 14 weeks, I've been working massively, like my absolute arse off, every Tuesday in 2-hour meetings, writing things for hours on end, to try and make sure that I could provide you guys a mental health book that is easy to read and is from people who have actual experience with mental health. But also, it's not just mental health, it's from people who have had life-changing experiences. Experiences that some teenagers don't even think about or wouldn't even dream of. Now, it's not just me who's been working on this project. I've been working on this project with a group of people. #WriteBackPlease, that's the name of the project. And it's been an amazing 14 weeks. And all these this group of people that I've been working with, we've all been working our asses off to make sure this book has come to life. And today, I'm going to show you that book. This book full of young people's experiences and young people's inspiration. Really digging into the minds of what goes on up here for teenagers. And on this channel, my main goal and my main aim is to provide you guys mental health advice, but to also prepare you for the future. And this book has got some life advice, and it's definitely going to prepare you for the future. So, grab a coffee, grab a cup of tea. You're going to need it for this, because we're going to take a look at this book, see what it's like, see what it's turned into, and I'm going to read you the piece that I wrote in that book. By the way, if I read anyone else's pieces, I will say it's their piece, but I won't be able to say their name because of like privacy and confidentiality stuff. But my piece I will be able to share with you honestly and give you the like kind of the insights into it. So, if you're looking forward to this, smash that like button, making sure you're hitting that subscribe button to join our amazing community for more book-related reading things. I've got a lot more of this planned, and I'm currently working on many other projects behind the scenes as well. Let's jump into this book. So guys, this is that book. It's called Out from the Shadows, and I think the name just gives it a real kicker. I'll kind of do a close-up. I'll probably have to do some gamma correction. There's me on the back, and then this is the front. As you can see, the Right Back logo right here. I will leave links to Right Back's Instagram and sites down below, so if you want to get involved with the project, you can do. There'll be several projects going on in my local area, so you can go and have a read of that. But yeah, today we're just going to have a look at this book, see what type of young people's experiences are in this book, and especially see what I wrote in it. Now, the piece that I wrote wasn't really a personal experience. It's a life lesson, but it's not really a personal experience. I didn't really give you much insight into my full-on life. I definitely expose a massive secret that you guys don't actually know. I'm still debating whether to actually say it, but considering it's in a public book, I might as well. But yeah, we're going to read my piece that was more like a life lesson, but there are several other pieces of writing in this book by several other young people who are explaining their journey and how they got to where they are today, but most importantly, giving you mental health advice and life advice. So let's jump into this. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm only going to read my piece, but I will show pictures of several other pieces right now, so there'll probably be a few pieces flashing up on the screen as we go along. So there's pieces from everything you can think about, from racism to feminism to school to vulnerability to memories to all these different titles, all these different topics, and there's even a lot about family and friendship in here. So that just gives you a good idea of the type of stories that are in here and the variety of topics that are covered just in this book. And I think nearly every story in here, even if it's not like proper obvious advice, at least to some level has got a piece of advice in it that if you take on board could be life-changing. I think I actually counted at one point that there's over 20 different topics just in this one book. So, let's have a little read of the blurb. This will give you a big idea of what's going on. Now, obviously, Right Back is a massive organisation made by a lovely, should I call him dude, guy, a man basically, who started off as a very small organisation and has just been blowing up over the last few months. So he's the only reason this project was able to go ahead and I was able to do this. And that's why I'm making this video, really, because I can't express enough how good this project is. And again, the links will be down below to how to get involved. Right, okay, so let's read this blurb. Now I've got the fact that this is about Right Back over the way. Right, so it says, don't forget that there will always be a bigger, better, brighter star than you, than them, than all the stars combined. And what won't even be the biggest one yet, and just remember that stars burn out, and by helping them stay alight, one day they will do the same for you. So, if that was a bit complicated and that just didn't make any sense to you, it's basically saying that if you put your effort in, if you say your bit in society, if you express your voice, society will pay you back for that. And I think that's a very powerful blurb to put on the back of a book. It's basically saying, look, if we didn't put our voices in this book, they would never be heard and we wouldn't get anything out of it. And it practically goes by the saying of, if you don't put the effort in, don't expect anything back. Right, anyway, blurb over the way with. Let's go into my story. So, before we go into this story, and before I really give you an insight into what I wrote in this book, I just want to do a bit of a kind of background check on this story to tell you a bit more about why I wrote this story specifically. So, this piece of writing by me is called The Unknown Type of Life. Now, it's all about the idea of doing what you love and doing what you've always wanted to do, and not just sitting there on your butt all day doing nothing, as a hell of a lot of teenagers on planet Earth do at this age. Now, I didn't just write a paragraph basically begging you to do things. I gave you reasons of why I think you should go out and do things. So I gave you a bit of an insight into my background, not much though. And I also used many other writing techniques, which the Write Back Project taught me, of how to really bring you guys in and make you feel like I'm not just telling you what to do, I have experience in it, and I know what I'm talking about. So, I think it's time to give it a little read. Now you know what it's about, now you know what it's called. And the reason I wrote it is because I've been through a very hard life myself. I used to be that boy who just sat there and watched YouTube all day and didn't do anything. And that life just didn't get me anywhere, and it actually made my mental health and my anxiety even worse than it is today, which is not that bad, but you get what I mean. So, let's give this a bit of a read, let's see what I writ, and I'm hoping you're gonna like it. What I'm gonna do, again, I'm just gonna throw pictures up of what I'm reading so you can't actually see me, so you can read along with me. So, here we go. The unknown type of life. In life, we all regret something. It could be anything, from not spending a lot of time with mum to not eating that one pizza you were offered. Regret always hits you at some point. No matter how perfect you may think you are, it still hurts you in some way. Yet, how much time of our lives do we spend regretting rather than changing and doing? You would be surprised. Trust me, I would know. Believe it or not, I used to be a quiet, insecure and uninspiring young boy with a past that revolved around me going into care and being underdeveloped. So regretting was something I could do a lot, but never much acting upon it. Until the entire idea of me being anxious and miserable came into play, at about the ages of 11 to 12. At this time, I was seeing a counsellor and really didn't feel like it was working. However, what most people don't realise is that your brain needs something to keep focused on and feel like it's achieving and learning something to stay happy and positive. Without this, there is no surprise that you are miserable. A lesson I learnt quickly. Right, I'm going to stop there just for a second, so we're like pretty much 2 paragraphs in at this point. So obviously that last paragraph that I just read to you is about my personal life. I did go into care when I was younger. I wasn't planning on telling you guys this in this video, but it's happened. So yeah, that's my past for you. I probably will make a bigger and better video on my past and how it happened and whatever, but that's the basics of my past. I'm giving you even more insights into what happened in my past life and why I do what I do today. Anyway, let's keep reading. It's easy to sit there on our beds and dream about things, not moving what seems like minutes but was actually hours. The time just seems to go and you ask yourself, why am I just sitting here? Even so, you still just don't move. You're like, what's the point? Something later on you would regret. Come on, admit it, right or wrong. It's easily done, as Mum might say. Not saying you can't relax, but later that day, you feel down and have a mental breakdown. I didn't actually say mental, I just thought I'd add that in for effect. For most anyway, this is a typical Monday evening. You're meant to be relaxing after revising for hours and stressing yourself to death as your stupid, unwanted friend non-stop texting you, but instead, you're sitting there crying. If you can't relate, then maybe the crying was a bit of an exaggeration. The term miserable might be better suited to you in that case. Even so, that time you spent being miserable or crying, you could have been doing something that might have... Wait, stop. Why was I crying in the first place? Well, clearly I wasn't happy, so what was I feeling? Wait, that homework from that teacher I don't like is not... Oh, God. No, I can't be crying about homework. That's just silly. Wait, what did I do in school today? Wait, I forgot. Wait, what am I doing with my life? Do I have friends that make me happy? Do I have a hobby that makes me happy? Again, we're going to stop there. So I pretty much read, at this point, we're right near the ending. There's literally one more small page with a picture of us. So, at this point, the message is very clear. I'm clearly saying how teenagers should stop sitting on their asses and actually get up and do something. But I'm not just saying that by just telling you. Like, I'm sure your parents sit there and waffle on to you about the fact that you should probably get up and do something all the time. I'm giving you a personal reason for it, and the fact that I managed to write something in a book, even though I've been in care and have had problems in my life, is meant to motivate you to do what I'm telling you. And that's the technique used behind this. I think what writers do a lot nowadays is, instead of just blubbering words onto paper and kind of hoping that people listen to them, they give you reasons to listen to them. And that's not just evidence, that's not just scientific evidence. That is pure emotion and pure thought. They've actually been through what they're telling you to do. Because again, I did used to be that kid who used to sit there and do nothing. The way I described sitting on the bed and asking myself what I'm doing, I have sat on my bed right there and asked myself that exact question. So I don't think I just made that up. And then I go into, at the end of that, into all these different questions about, like, why am I here? Like, do I have friends that keep me happy? Do I have a hobby that makes me happy? I'm not giving you answers to these questions. I'm not telling you directly what to do. I'm making you question it. And that's what makes this writing really effective. Instead of me just rambling at you and being like, do this, do that, do this, do that, I'm being like, you know what, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to make you question things that you might be doing wrong and let you answer them yourself. Now, you do this in writing to make sure that your reader doesn't feel pressured to do anything and you're not, like, attacking them. The idea of this is to make them question it and hope that they go ahead and change something. Right, so let's read this final bit, which is pretty much me just wrapping it up. This trap of life is something most people fall into, and sometimes it doesn't stop until the person who is in it is so lost and depressed they don't know how to go on anymore. In life, always do at least one thing for you and something that is going to give you some form of purpose. Most importantly, make it yours and be happy doing it. And that's the end. And then there's just a picture at the bottom of us working on a workshop. And that's what I wrote. Now, if I could go back and rewrite that again, I'd probably change a few things. But that's just because I've changed a lot over the last, couple of weeks. But when I was writing that, it was a very big part of my life. Like, I was very happy with where I'd got. And I was very happy with how I'd developed. So it really did mean a lot. And I'm hoping it's going to mean a lot to many other people who read that. And it really does relate to all the other topics that are written in the book, about feminism, about racism, about all these other different things that affect people. And then there's my piece of writing telling you to get up your arse and do something. So once you've read all the other ones, you get back around to mine. You should be motivated to not just accept the fact that all these things are in the world, but to go out there and try and do something with it. And that was the idea of my writing, because I knew everyone else who was writing paragraphs was going to write about racism, feminism, culture, friendships, relationships, all these big issues in society nowadays. Well, I call them big issues, they're really not, they're probably like the most smallest issues. But for some people, they are huge issues. And they're the things that people like reading. But what most people don't like reading, what most people don't even really think about, is the entire idea that at some point you need to get off your ass and do something. And that's what I really wanted to get across. I really wanted to make sure that it was very clear that, yeah, sure, there's racism, there's feminism, there's culture, all these different things that were spoken about. But at the same time, if you're just going to sit there and think about them, nothing's ever going to change. The only way you're going to change anything, the only way you're going to make the things you complain about different, is if you actually get off your ass and start working. And I think that was the biggest message out of that entire paragraph. And again, I didn't just do that because, I'm just one massive egotistical ball and I've never been through anything in my life and I've just done scientific research. I've actually been through things in my life that have put me in these situations where I am sitting there thinking, what the heck am I doing, having mental breakdowns every other day. So, we read that paragraph, and I'm hoping that, that paragraph really did make you think, and hopefully it had the effect that it's meant to have. But yeah, I can't beg it enough. If you're 15 or even around 13, I'd say nowadays, and you're watching this and you're not doing any hobbies, you're not outdoors, you're not doing anything, go out there and do something. Go out there and make your voice heard, because if you just sit there, all the things you question about, all the things you dream about, it's never gonna happen. And there's actually a poster up there that says, don't just wish, but work for it. There's no point wishing for things. Wishing doesn't get you anywhere, but working does. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that piece of writing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you thought that piece of writing was good, please smash that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for more reading videos like this. I'm definitely going to continue this. I've got tons of different things in plan for stuff like this, and I've definitely thoroughly enjoyed it. Also, let me know if you like the camera angles. I've been trying to change things up. Last video, I was kind of... No, actually, next video, I'm going to be over there, so you'll get to see that camera angle. But I thought I'd set you up like this. It's quite cozy, it's quite intimate, and I get to read to you in a bit of a different way. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you have, smash that like button. Remember, guys, this project, this book, what I've just done would not be possible without the amazing man who made the Write Back project. I will leave links to sites and all the amazing different things that Sam does in the description. So if you want to go and check his work out, want to go and check out what he does, that will all be in the description and ready for you to look at. But apart from that, guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will catch you dudes on on Thursday. Yeah, that's it. For a actually story time video, so stay tuned. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you later.